is such a basic need, and one I'd worried about. I wondered how climate change would affect our ability to grow things here.
When I tell farmers about this, they think, it's going to be a longer growing season. That's one of the trends we're seeing. One of the things I see as my mission is having our region poised so that the farmers in our region are poised to take advantage of any opportunities that climate change may bring. So there's going to be some winners and losers in terms of crops and in terms of farmers.
For instance, Concord grapes won't grow well, but the climate is becoming more friendly for wine.
I got into this from the standpoint of how plants respond to environmental stress. In the future, they're going to be doing that in a high CO2 world. There is some actual potential benefit from the higher CO2 itself.
Lab experiments confirm that CO2 helps many plants grow bigger and faster.
So we learned a lot in those experiments. Plants growing in greenhouses have optimum temperatures, optimum water, fertilizer, etc. We want to know what's going to happen in the real world.
When they took the experiments out into the field, there were surprises. Plants grew well, but weeds grew better. Poison ivy is one of the weeds that likes CO2. When they experimented with high CO2 in a forest, there was so much poison ivy that it was hard to work. And weed killers, especially Roundup, didn't work as well. They used Roundup here with today's CO2 levels. Same treatment here, but with the CO2 levels we'll have in the future.
The biggest uncertainty is whether there will be much, if any, benefit from carbon dioxide in the real field situation, and how much the weeds will benefit relative to the crops.
I was beginning to feel that telling the story of local effects was going to be hard. So much was subtle and interconnected.
The crops that currently dominate the economy of Western New York and New York in general are cool season crops like cabbage, potatoes, the dairy industry itself. The dairy cows really like it cool. They have maximum milk production is at about 40 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
Now, the average summer high is 81 degrees. The forecast calls for 2 weeks over 100 degrees, almost 2 months over 90. And timing matters. A heat wave at the wrong time can turn food into garbage. Warmer, shorter winters help parasites breed, and droughts make plants vulnerable to attack.
Almost every problem I talk to you about with regards to agriculture, potential problem, there's a solution, there's an adaptation. But they all have, don't forget the dollar signs that go with each of those adaptations. And one concern we have is that the farmers in this area, particularly the small farmers, might not have the capital to make that transition.
Everything we've talked to scientists about what's going to happen around here. Mm-hmm. What's the prognosis?
To me, it says that there are a lot of things here that are pretty wonderful that we take for granted that could be gone. Mm-hmm. And not in a way like we can't live here anymore, but they're pretty special. And it would be a very different place to live.
A not special place?
Yeah. From May to October, it's pretty amazing here. And if it's stinking hot and we're all just going from our air-conditioned houses to our air-conditioned cars, then it's not pretty fabulous here. Mm-hmm. In the field, I was asking a little bit about what will be lost in terms of daily life.
Well, I think it's too late to think that
we and our children are not going to have to be doing some type of coping and adapting to climate change. We will have to be doing some of that. It'll be just a fact of life, I think, in the future. What has been lost is thinking that the climate in the Northeast is going to be like our grandfathers, great-grandfathers, and great-great-grandfathers. They all pretty much saw the same climate. We're going to be seeing something different, and it's too late to think about that not happening.